So this is unacceptable for the organization.
The acquittal of the former Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Olmert on corruption charges is being hailed as a victory for the veteran politician and a disaster for the state prosecutor's office. He was found not guilty of most of the serious charges against him, which included taking cash bribes and double billing Israel charities. But he was convicted of a lesser charge of a breach of public trust for having dealt as Trade and Industry Minister with projects that involve one of his longtime friends. The charge carries a maximum jail sentence of 3 years.
There
was no corruption. There was no receipt of money. There was no use of money. There were no cash envelopes. There was nothing of those things that they tried to relate to me. The court decided that with regard to the issue relating to the investment centre, I breached trust. I respect the court's decision and I will learn lessons from this conviction.
Well, Ehud Olmert still faces corruption charges in yet another trial in which he's accused of accepting bribes to promote the contentious Holy Land construction project in Jerusalem. YONAH Jeremy Bob is the legal affairs correspondent for the Jerusalem Post. Earlier we asked him if Ehud Olmert's acquittal today had been expected and if the verdict would impact on the next corruption case he faces.
No one knew what to expect. This was a bombshell. It was going to be big no matter what. No one knew what to expect, but I don't think anybody would have expected this. So he had loyalty from a lot of the key people, and he had enough degrees of removal from any of the actions that he was accused of that he was able to have plausible deniability. They did convict him of a crime. It's a very minor crime. It's almost unthinkable that he would get jail time. In fact, the same day that they announced when they were going to give the verdict, they started the Holy Land trial, which is another mega corruption trial that doesn't just involve Olmert, but it also involves Olmert. And so he's not out of the woods yet. There's no question the prosecution is absolutely going to treat the case differently now. The stakes are much higher. They've been tremendously embarrassed. The head prosecutor for the whole country took a very personal stake, and now they've just got a lot less slack from the general public, and they have to tread very carefully. Their response across the spectrum, while one can say was mixed, there were few politicians who were acting as if he couldn't come back. Other parties are still friendly with him. The Shas party, Eli Yishai, congratulated him. Benjamin Netanyahu, the prime minister, gave a measured congratulations to him. In Israel, I don't think you can dismiss anybody. He is 67 years old, so he's not at the beginning of his political career anymore, but it's definitely possible. And he did conclude the press conference by saying, the public has not heard the last from me. So whether that was a hint to a political comeback or just to restoring his legacy, certainly if he beats the Holy Land trial charges, he has a large number of people who are waiting for him to come back. And it's a question whether he may even start to try to come back before then.
The widow of Yasser Arafat will file a legal complaint in France asking authorities